just using this for dry throat. Okay, it says got it.
Okay, I think we are live. Here we go. Let me make sure here we go. Yes, I see us on here. I see us. We're good. We're good, Lisa.
Nice.
Go. All right. Woo-woo. Hey, everyone. Thank you for joining into Conversations with Eileen tonight. And first, I have this amazing, lovely guest who you're going to hear all about, Lisa Nagy. Lisa, thank you so much for being my guest tonight and sharing with us.
Thank you so much for having me today. I really appreciate it.
Oh, I'm so happy to have you, and I can't wait for everyone to hear everything about you and what you're going to share with us tonight. So my name is Eileen Carlucci, and I am the author of the upcoming book, Your New Life Starts Now. I am a speaker, a lifestyle design coach, and wardrobe stylist for women over 40. And I am here every week at 7 o'clock on Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I have a weekly show, Conversations with Eileen, where I interview fabulous female entrepreneurs who are making their mark in the world. And I'm so amazed with Lisa. I invited Lisa to come on tonight because she's had the most fabulous career. I mean, lifelong career. She's going to share with you. And she also just started this new side venture not too long ago with Pampered Chef. And I'm sure you've heard of Pampered Chef. If you have not, you're going to hear all about it tonight and how amazing the products are. But let's just take it over to you, Lisa. And, you know, we're talking about your expansive career, like all the things you have done and the contribution you've made. So just share a little bit about what you do, like what your career has been.
Okay.
Here.
So Eileen, first of all, I wanted to, besides thanking you for having me today, but also, like I said, even personally, that you are an inspiration to women. So thank you so much.
Thank you
so
much. I really appreciate that acknowledgement. Thank you.
And I can't wait for your book. I bought it, so I can't wait till it come out. Everybody go ahead and buy it.
It's done. I'm just revising each chapter now before I send it off to editing formatting. So it'll be out.
Exactly. Can't wait.
Uh-huh.
So my name is, as you know, is Lisa Nagy, and I've been working as a software trainer for over 25 years. We'll just say that. And I didn't realize at the beginning when I started doing computer graphics when I was much younger that I was actually going to get into doing training. You know, there's a lot of trainers there's a lot of educators in my mom's side of the family. And I never dreamed that I would actually become a trainer. But one day I fell into it, and all of a sudden I just fell in love with it, and I had to keep doing it. So once I started training, I've actually trained a lot of government agencies. We won't talk about the names of them, but there's a lot of them. And I've lived in the Virginia area for quite a while. And I wanted to say that I've also not only taught virtual classes, but in-person classes, large groups, small groups, one-on-ones, things like that. I've also worked with things like learning business intelligence software, and I taught that. Electronic procurement system, I learned that, I taught that. I also tested that, worked with developers. Wow. So yeah, so I'm certified in SharePoint, and I'm certified in the Office Suite.
On your bio, SharePoint. Wow, that's amazing.
And a certified trainer with CompTIA. So I'm really grateful, and I feel very blessed and just fortunate to have that. Not every day do you find something that you love in your life, right? That you do for a living. A lot of people don't like what they do. Isn't that true?
That is so true. That is so true. And like, what an amazing career. And that you've been, you know, a teacher as well. So you've not only been in the industry, and you're like, that's what you do. That is really incredible. Wow. Wow. So, you know, my business is Redesign Your Life Coach. I always love when women have a good restart, starting their life over and designing a new life. And you've done that and, you know, shown up so powerfully in your life, and, you know, have this amazing career and now a new side venture. So share a little bit about that with us, how you started and restarted your life over.
Okay. So thank you. Okay. So it was over 4 years ago, and I was living in Tennessee. And I was filing for divorce at the time, and I decided that I needed to have a change, a healthy change in my life instead of an unhealthy change in my life. So what I did was, while I was there for that short period of time, I was trying to find a career job, the job that I'm talking about in my career, like being a trainer, working as a business analyst, maybe functional testing, and also some of those other things, and creating, training courses and teaching courses, things like that. It took a lot longer in Tennessee to get a career job that I was looking for. That was a surprise, but that was okay. So it took about 3 months. But while I was waiting, I found that when I prayed about it, I actually found that the job that came along at the time while I was still pursuing my career job was Marshall's. So I worked at Marshall's department store, and I worked in the dressing room because I love clothes. So I worked in that section there, and I did some announcements too because I thought that was fun as well. So I would do the daily announcements, and nobody else wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And I really found that even though I was getting paid $10 an hour,
Wow.
it was such a humbling experience. I can't even tell you. I felt like, oh, wow, these people are great and they're working so hard. So what I did was I kept praying every day. I said, God, please just give me, enough work, enough opportunity to be able to get paid enough money, like $500, just to pay my car payment for that month. So that went on for a few months, but I did get extra shifts. I'd work double shifts and things like that. They had a board in the back room that said, okay, if you want to sign up for other people's shifts because they need to maybe take vacation or something else was going on, I would sign up for anything I could. So every month for those few months, I was able to pay my car payment. So that was such a blessing.
You went from this big career and then moved down, and you were having a hard time with work, right? Because now it's not like, wasn't like, back then you couldn't do remote telework.
Right.
Wow.
That's
so what a shift that must have been, right? And how humbling, but look at you, and you did it, and you, saved your money, and that is amazing. That is really amazing.
And then within a few months, I did get my career job, and I worked that for about a month and a half. I was able to collect like a certain amount of money, and what I did was, when it was safe and it was time, and the husband was far away, I found it safe to leave. So I went to stay with my girlfriend for about 6 days. She lived about 50 miles outside of Nashville, and I stayed with her. And on the 6th day, I had this gut strong feeling, and I felt that I needed to pack up my car. I felt like God was getting me ready to go ahead and start something new, but I didn't know what it was. And I just trusted that it had to be better than what I had there. Right. And that it was going to be life-changing. So I put my trust in him, and then I packed up my car. I had a lot of stuff in my storage unit. I left it all behind. Nice things.
Yeah.
I left it all behind, but it didn't bother me to leave it behind because I wanted to be happy.
Ooh,
I needed a healthy change in my life.
Everything and go. Yeah.
And all the toxic things that went on. I made friends in Tennessee. I still have girlfriends there, but I needed to leave what was toxic there. So I packed up my car and I drove 15 miles to Virginia, where my mom welcomed me with warm arms. And I stayed there and found a good job very quickly, found a place to live on my own after I stayed with her for about a month and a half. And I'm still working at that job to this day.
Wow, that is wonderful. So you're not from Virginia then, right? Originally?
Actually, Virginia is my hometown. This is my hometown. Tennessee was just, this is my hometown.
Wow. And then you've continued, really, that's really such an inspirational story, because it's scary to make a move like that and just leave everything behind. And that was very brave. And I really acknowledge you for that. And you've kept powerful, and, and that's just so wonderful.
Thank you.
So let's talk a little bit about, so you have this amazing career, and what inspired you to start your side venture business, Pampered Chef?
Okay, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked. So really, the idea came for the side business. Now, I'm not specifying what it was yet, but early last year, during COVID, I said, you know what? I want to do a side business, but what do I want to do? So I decided to take these courses and get certified both as a personal shopper and an image consultant because I love
Really?
clothes. Oh
Wow.
yeah, you should see my closet. I love clothes. And if anybody knows me very personally, I love purses. I don't bring them out much lately, but I love purses. And
Yeah.
so I was thinking, okay, well, with my art background in college, as well as at BCU, I was going to school majoring in fashion illustration, fashion design.
Okay.
Okay. Even though I transferred and did a separate art degree, but I love the courses. I love the degree. I love those classes. And I thought, you know what, maybe that's just up my alley. And maybe I would like to do that. I was passionate about it. I thought that's inspiring. But
Wow.
then early this year,
Hmm.
I kind of had a change of heart because I was in an environment where I was able to meet a lot of wonderful people that I got to network with. Okay. So the social group that I was with, I was able to meet a lot of great people like yourself
Hmm.
and a lot of other great people that I made friends with as well as you, and still friends to this day. And it inspired me to look at a different avenue. So I did come across someone that actually was a Pampered Chef director. Her name's Helen. And so what happened was I thought about it. I said, well, I always bought the products and I used to use them. And I've had a Pampered Chef party. Who doesn't love Pampered Chef? Usually people do. And then I thought, cooking. Oh, I like cooking. And I even love cooking when I get to cook for other people. Like I'm going to be doing Easter. So I'm planning that out. So I'm
Ooh,
thinking to
right.
myself, what would be a better way to be able to help other people, and invite them, and share with them the knowledge of Pampered Chef and also explore recipes and tips than Pampered Chef. So
Oh.
I really enjoy what I do and I love it and it's exciting.
Oh, I bet you do. And that's so great how, you first thought you would maybe do what, the fashion and going into art and then you came upon this. So,
Mhm.
oh yeah. So tell us about the company, about Pampered Chef, what you do as a Pampered Chef consultant.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So
yeah, and like the products, like just give us,
sure.
yeah, yeah.
Sure. Okay. So basically, as a Pampered Chef consultant, there's a lot of different avenues. So what I did was, I'm going to first talk about the fact that Eileen is going to have my contact information and she's going to have a link. So if you're interested in reaching out to me,
Hmm.
and not only that, but there's also a link so that if you wanted to take a look at the products online or if you're interested in buying anything. But if you just want to look or if you just want to talk to me, you can do that too. Okay, I'm very approachable. And so I wanted to tell you, first of all, that some of the things that people choose to do is they say, you know what, it seems a little bit expensive to purchase some of the items in Pampered Chef, but there's so many products, folks, that are so inexpensive. There's like a lot that are under $10. Okay. And even if you don't even want to buy something, the idea that if you wanted to take a look at some of the products, you would be able to just save yourself a lot of time and a lot of money. If you wanted to stock your kitchen, if you were to host a party, if you hosted a party and you invited your friends, I wanted to give you some really great information that I was telling Eileen, is that if you were to host your own party and invite your own friends, the sales that you would get in your party, the greater the sales, the more free products, the more 50% off you would get on your products. Let me give you an idea. My girlfriend, she hosted her own party. Her total sales were $875 with 11 guests. She received $165 of free products. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
really good.
And then
Wow.
on top
Wow.
of that, another 30% discount. Then, even on top of that, 4 half off priced items. So, can you imagine? I'm looking over at my air fryer, my deluxe air fryer, and my deluxe blender. I wouldn't want to spend the original price, but if I could host a party and invite friends, and that actually is what I did when I started as a Pampered Chef consultant. I decided that's another way you could do it. You could say, if you're going to join my team, and I would give you $50 if you did join as an incentive. And when you became an active member, you get that $50 for free. If you hosted your own party, just like I did when I started, and I was so grateful that my friends came. That was so nice. It was very much a blessing, and they were very supportive. But the sales that I got, I was able to get half off of a lot of these appliances that are really great with Pampered Chef. They're going to last a very long time, great quality. And not only that, but she also received additional discounts when people decided they wanted to book parties from her event. They said they would like to host their own party. If you were to decide if you wanted to host your own party, maybe you didn't want to join my team, maybe you just wanted to have your own party and maybe stock up when you invite friends, stock up on some appliances just by getting them discounted, right? Inviting your friends. I would give you an incentive of $25 gift. You know, if you were to, on the day that you host your party, I would give you that $25.
Well, Lisa, let's just talk about like the products, just in case. I know most people know Pampered Chef, but just like tell us like what kind of products. I know there's like bakeware, there's, you know, just so people know, can get the world of like, if I have a party, what am I, you know? Yeah.
Sure. So basically at a party, we do different themes. You could do a divorce party if you want. It's possible, right? You could do a bridal shower party. You could do a home warming party. I'm looking into that. And here's our spring and summer catalog. And we have a lot of great things. One of the new products, they're called, and I'm just going to give you the exact name for it. It's reusable storage bag set. And I always like to call them the silicone bags because that's what they are. They're made out of silicone. Now, if you can see, this is the first one. This is 8 cups worth. You can use this in sous vide cooking. We have a new item that's new with our catalog. It's called the Deluxe Multi-Cooker. It replaces the quick cooker, and you can use sous vide cooking in there, and you can cook anything in there. So this is leak proof, and it has the little teeth on it, and it's all silicone. I just love silicone stuff. I don't know why. Maybe it's the touch. Cool. Then you have another shape this is the 3 cups, and another shape. This one's more of a sandwich bag, and it has the little teeth on it, you see. Remember, it's leak proof. And then here's a small snack size, and this one's a 1.5 cup. You can use them in the freezer and in the microwave. So I wanted to tell you,
than like the Tupperware containers. I like it because it's so small and compact. They don't take a lot of room up. That's awesome.
I love it too. Now we have these mesh bags. They have 3 different sizes. Okay, there's a small, medium, and a large. This one, because I didn't open this one up all the way, but there's 3 different sizes. And what's nice about them, it's got this little toggle string on it, right up at the top.
Okay.
And you can put your produce in here. So if you go to the grocery store and instead of putting them in those nasty plastic bags, you could save, instead of using plastic bags, you could put them in here, right? And not only that, but when you're using these, what's nice about them is that you can also wash and dry your food in here, which is really cool. So you're really saving from using plastic because we are trying to save the environment, and the silicone does that too. So you don't have to use plastic bags. Would you like to see something else?
Sure, absolutely.
What's nice about these containers is these are also new, everything I'm showing you so far, and they're stackable. There's 2 containers and then the lids. As you can see with the lids, they have that nice design.
Yes.
On the other side, okay, if I open it up, it's just flat. So what happens is if you were to take this and you were to decide that you wanted to, I'm going to be going back downtown soon, okay, and you can see with the container, you have your lid on here, and it's you know, leak proof. And then when you get to work, if you decide you wanted to cut up some strawberries or some of these items that you have in here, fruit, vegetables, or whatever, or maybe going on a picnic or going to Wolf Trap and you want to sit and open it up, you could actually open it up and use this as a cutting board, the top.
You're kidding.
And then you could use one of our knives and you could cut on it.
Wow, that is brilliant. That is brilliant. Because you always
and
have
then just stack them and put them away.
Yeah, especially if you're at work and you really can't cut. There's most of the time there's not cutting board, so you take a plate or whatever. Yeah, no, that is really wow. I love that.
I love it too. Thank you.
Questions. Sometimes you can't see in the comments. So if we don't, you know, if anyone has a question, because I'm sure sometimes I see the comments after, and I don't know why it doesn't show up. We will make sure Lisa will answer your questions. So we'll
you can reach out to me.
Any questions, and we're going to share the link and everything. But yeah,
thank you. I'm very approachable.
Yes. Okay. So did you have something else there? You were
yes. Okay. This is called a silicone egg bite mold. Okay, and it's also new too. You can use it for sous vide. You can make, like, if you go to Starbucks, you know how they have those little mini egg bites and things. So here's the
Yeah.
mold. You can see,
Wow.
and here's what it looks like. You could make little mini cakes in there. You can put this in the oven. I
Mm,
don't have the new product that's the deluxe multi cooker, but I do happen to have this, and I could put it in the oven and make my little eggs. You can also use it to cook sous vide in the multi cooker, and it has a nice little carrier here too, so you can safely take it out.
how
With
cute.
the.
Can you
Mhm.
make muffins and
Oh, sure, you could
yeah.
do that in there if you wanted to. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Very cute.
These
I like that.
these are the silicone mitts, which I was
Oh, I
telling you
love
about
those.
before. People
Ooh,
really love them,
yeah.
and I love them too.
Yeah.
So if
You
you're
don't
tired of
burn your
using,
hands when you take stuff out of the oven. Yeah. Yeah. Wonderful.
there is this other thing I wanted to show you.
Sure.
It's a secret cake that's in our catalog here. Now, what it comes with is 2 cake pans. Okay.
Mhm. Okay.
So what's really cool about this is that if you wanted to have like a little secret surprise in your cake, you can see that you can't put your hand through here. See? No secret.
Mm.
Okay. So you have this
Nope.
little cup, and then you put it in here at the bottom. You see how I
Okay.
just put it
Yeah.
at the bottom? So what it does is when you bake it, it's going to leave you kind of like a bundt cake kind of look. So it kind of goes around that area, so that when you have this part of the cake, when you take it out, you're going to have that little secret compartment where you could fill it with like any kind of jams, jellies, candy, fruit, whatever it is you want to put in there. And then on the other side, I just think it's so cool. Sorry, is see now this little device here. See how it has these little ridges and it has like little cup holders. So you could
Yeah.
actually put that downward inside. So
Oh,
what it's going to
wow.
give you is the space inside when this is cooked, this cake, so that when you open it up, you could use those extra spaces and you could flip it up. So it will be at the top. You could fill that with like little candies or fruit. I even did, I'll have to
Wow.
share
How
it with
cool is
you.
that?
I actually
Yeah.
did strawberries and blueberries in it, but you could do something not healthy if you wanted to. So
Right.
those are some ideas there.
Wow. That is some great stuff. Amazing. So bakeware and all the like
Mhm.
utensils.
All the
And do they still
kitchenware.
have the pizza?
Pardon?
I still have mine
Yes.
from, God, I must have got them in the I don't know, early 2000s or something, but I still
They're,
have them. They've lasted forever. Yeah.
gosh. Oh my
Oh,
gosh, they're wonderful. They're
the
wonderful. And
stones.
there's so many different stoneware that you can choose from. Um, they're wonderful. They last a long time. If anybody has any problems when they receive their products, they can contact me and I can contact the home office and they'll replace it with no problem.
Wow.
And I did want to share with you,
Mhm.
this is something I made in my deluxe blender. It is
Wow.
strawberry and
Ooh.
banana. It's a recipe that I made. It's a milkshake, or it's actually a smoothie. And I used that in my deluxe blender. And it is so wonderful. All I put in here was, besides strawberries, bananas, a little bit of honey. That's it. That's it. And so that's really healthy. And I wanted to share that with you. We do have the garlic Parmesan olive oil, which is really nice. I put that on my kale chips that I made in my air fryer. Don't
Oh,
put too
yum.
much on
So the
though.
air fryers from Pampered Chef too? You said you got the
Yeah.
air fryers.
Uh-huh.
Wow. Wow.
You can make anything in there. In fact, my girlfriend came over. Hi, Natalie, if she's watching, or she will be seeing the recording. And basically, she came over a few weeks ago and she
Okay.
wanted to do oyster mushrooms. Is it oyster mushrooms? You know, those little mushrooms. I don't eat
Yeah,
mushrooms.
yeah.
So we made those in there. We made tofu in there. We made kale chips in there. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's all
Incredible.
kitchen products that
Yeah.
you could think of. And even for parties or for events, there's even containers that you could have for parties that you want to keep cool. So when people come over and
Yeah.
have maybe outside, since it's getting warmer now, there's
Yeah.
a lot of things that you could use. Different sauces. There's different, I don't have it with me, but there's a new scampi kind of product. You know, they come in these little batches. These aren't
Oh,
scampi,
wow.
but there's also pad thai as well. And they come in these like 3 little
That is
containers. You get a set
something.
for like $11. And one is scampi, so you could add chicken or you could add shrimp. And the other one is pad thai. You could add a protein and you could add soy sauce.
So how So you have the packets with like the scampi and the pad thai. What and so what other kind? I know you have the olive oils or other food, or is that anything
Oh,
else?
there's brownie mix. There's the leche cake, yummy. This is brand new. Come on, folks, this is really good. Has like some nice little caramel flavor to it. Yummy, yummy.
Wow.
And we have brownies. We have like an Italian bread. There's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of them. You have to go online. And then also there's Dijon mustard. Not only do they come in these little packets, but we also have seasonings in little containers like you would normally see in the store. In the seasoning spice aisles. You have different spices. You could have chipotle seasoning. You could have carnitas. Yeah, carnitas. I always have to say it a certain way. But there's all sorts of flavoring that you would want. You could probably find. I'm sure.
Wow.
So there are like
it's Pampered Chef. I mean, honestly, because I had a party years ago, probably a few of them. I haven't really seen this, so I'm so glad you showed me all this because I am planning on having a party with you. So now
I would love
some of these products, and I'm like, I'm getting so excited. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you can have your parties again. You can do them either online or in person, right? So if someone's from out of state, if you're in a different state, you can do. How would that work if they wanted to do that?
Okay. So if they wanted to do that online, so what we would do is we would set up on Facebook, and if you don't have Facebook, we'll arrange it, for you to invite your friends. But if you do use Facebook and your friends do, then you can invite them in a group, and we could always add information every day, when we're leading up to it. And on the day of the party, we'll also be posting things and content there, fun things, games, giveaways, content that we're going to be covering, like maybe healthy choices for a party. I have a girlfriend that's a vegetarian, so that's what she chooses to do for her party. And everybody might be different. Maybe some people have allergies, so we take those in consideration. But if they're virtually, we could set up a Zoom call. So we could do that, and we could have them there. If there's, and my other girlfriend, she wants to have some people there and then the rest of them virtually. So we could do both. We could do it. It doesn't matter. We can make it work. And
about these times. Because years ago, it was just only in person. I used to go to a lot of these shows years ago.
Exactly.
That's the beauty of this time. We can get on Zoom and virtual. It's so amazing. Wow. So anything else you want to share about the Pampered Chef products or anything else that you want to share? I mean, we're going to talk words of wisdom in a minute in closing, but anything else you want to share?
I just wanted to let people know in general that you don't necessarily have to have a party. If you're interested in just talking to me, because I remember when I was talking to my tax gentleman, and he says, do I have to have a party if I want to buy products? And I thought, maybe there's a misunderstanding there. No, I said, no, you don't. You don't have to have a party. If you want to just reach out to me and contact me, that's fine. You can do that too. But if you are interested in having a party, remember the advantage of that is that you're going to get these discounts at great prices. Right. And also you're inviting your friends, which is fun. You can make it interactive. And if you have to catch up, that's what happened with one of my friends' parties. So it's very fun. It's very exciting. I have other parties coming up, different types of themes. I even have one friend that wants to do something more of a brunch, and maybe it evolved around sports. So you could do that.
Bridal showers, right? Do you do bridal showers too?
We could do that. We could do home warming, and we could have party ideas. I've been coming up with party ideas for both of those, the bridal and the home warming, and also divorce parties or any other thing. You never know, right?
You never know. You need, when you get divorced, you want to have everything new, right?
But we have these nice catalogs, and I'd be willing to send it out if anybody wants one. We also have something called Season's Best, which it gives recipes of different things that you could use with your Pampered Chef items, and they're great. And I do want you to see again this. I'm telling you, it only takes like a few minutes to make this. Now, people in their busy lives nowadays, I was wanting to tell you that it really saves them a lot of time using Pampered Chef products, like with the blender. This could be my dessert, right? Strawberry, banana, and a little bit, like 1 tablespoon of honey. Honey's good for you, right?
Yeah.
So I made this in under 2 minutes. Zoom. It's
Wow,
done.
isn't that amazing?
I could make soup in there. I could make in my blender. I could make soup. It has a warm setting, so if you want it to cook and make soup, it can make peanut butter in a few minutes. It can make everything in there.
Oh,
And then
wow.
also making the kale chips in the air fryer. It only took a few minutes too, and that's pretty healthy. So I'm
That is
experimenting with that too.
convenient. That
I didn't
thing
even know I
can
like
be
kale.
made like that. Yeah. What is that?
I didn't even know I like kale.
Yeah. Now it's like your favorite food, right?
It's good. It's really good.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing all of this. And like, I loved hearing about these products and your enthusiasm for the products. You could just tell how much you do love the products. You love what you do. You love working with people and making their lives easier, because all these products really make people's lives easier, right?
It really saves them a lot of time in the kitchen. It really does.
Yes, we need that, right? We have busy lives, and definitely. So, so in closing, so words of wisdom in closing, what would you like to share before we close tonight?
Okay. Well, this one, I was telling you before we started that I really love this one. This one just touches me. And I think sometimes you pick something that really touches your heart at the time, depending on where you are in your life.
Yeah.
So this one grabbed me. It says, "She is clothed with strength and dignity, and she laughs without fear of the future." And it's from Proverbs 31, verse 25. I just got goosebumps.
Beautiful. Yes, beautiful. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank
you for sharing your journey, like, your restart, how you restarted your life, your whole career journey, and now this new venture with Pampered Chef and all the products and all the yummy things you could make. And I will be sharing the link.
Yes.
So if you want to reach out to Lisa, like she said, I'm very friendly. Just reach out, DM her, or use the link.
Exactly.
Yep. Yep. And thank you so much, Lisa. I really appreciate you.
And I wanted to thank you so much again for having me. Hugs, virtual hugs for you.
Yeah.
And thank you so much, and continue to be an inspiration as you always are. Thank you so much for having me. And I hope to hear from a few of you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, definitely. We'll answer any questions in the comments. And thank you all for joining in. Thank you for joining in tonight. Hope you enjoy the live and all of Lisa's amazing tips. All right, everyone. Have a great night.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, Lisa. Bye, all.
Bye-bye.